Hello friends, it's Sam here, and today I'm going to be talking about tarot decks and my personal collection of tarot decks that I've accumulated over the past 2 years-ish, maybe a little more. Sorry if I sound a little sick. It's because I am. I'm currently getting over sinusitis, and if you've ever had sinusitis, you know that shit does not go away. So it's a struggle, but I wanted to film this video for you guys. We're going to be talking about a couple of tarot decks, an oracle deck, a stone deck, and a affirmation deck. These are the decks that I have acquired over the years, and if you guys follow me on Twitter, which you should, you would know that I offer tarot readings, and when I offer my tarot readings, I allow my client to choose which of my decks they want me to work with. That way they feel more connected to the deck that they chose, and I can read their energy a little bit easier, because if they chose that deck, then it makes me feel more connected to them through the deck. So that's why I allow people to do it, and that's why I like acquiring new decks, because everyone has different tastes and opinions. So I'm just going to kind of go through these decks a little bit and talk about them, tell you the pros and cons, and kind of a little mini review of what I think of them. So I hope you guys enjoy. So the first deck I'm going to talk about today is the Tarot of the Haunted House, and this is my current favorite deck. If you can tell by the box, this is a well-used deck. I actually don't keep it in this box anymore. I keep it in this handmade bag. It's more of a darker deck, and I think that's kind of what scares people away from it, but this is what the backs look like. It's got little haunted houses on it, and the cards in this deck are really beautiful. So the cards on this deck are very beautiful, and I love them a lot. There's the Six of Cups, and this is, like I said, a darker deck, and I think that deters a lot of people, but that's mainly the reason that I like it. Because it's a darker deck, I feel like I connect with it a lot more. The happier decks really just don't, their strength really don't resonate with me like this one does, and it's horror themed, which is one of my favorite things. So look at this Tower card, very powerful. There's the Hierophant. Like the Hierophant usually is like a card of faith, but this card looks like from The Exorcist, when he's like, the power of Christ compels you. That's what it reminds me of. And in this card, it really looks like the person doesn't want these beliefs shoved on them. I think that's really why I resonate with this card and this deck more, because it has the traditional meanings, but when you look at the symbolism of the cards, it can be a bit different. So I really appreciate that. And I love this Four of Swords card, taking a rest, because if you don't take a rest, these little demons are gonna get you. And then it has a lot of cards that just look exactly like the Rider-Waite symbolism, which is fine. Love this Hanged Man card. Got it a crap ton back in the day. This Death card give me chills. So, have any of y'all ever seen Fairy Tale? Because this looks like Mara Jane's demon form. I think that's why I like it, but it's really beautiful. Love this Devil card, because these two people were on the Lovers card. And also in this deck, the four suits are divided into the cups, the swords, the wands, and the pentacles, but each suit is represented by vampires, witches, angels, and demons. So I really appreciate that one. So the swords, I think, are the vampires, because he's putting stakes through her heart. There's one card I really want to show you that's one of those ones that kind of goes a little bit against the traditional meaning or can be interpreted differently. And it's this card. It's the Four of Wands. So traditionally, the Four of Wands means happiness, celebration, kind of like a birthday party or a wedding or a graduation, where you're coming home, returning to your family, and celebrating. But this card looks like a fucking ritual sacrifice, okay? It looks like they're about to sacrifice someone on that table. It does not look happy. And everyone's wearing masks, and you're kind of staring at them, so it makes you kind of seem like an outsider. And this card would always pop up when I had family problems. So I really just I love how intuitive this deck is, and I love how much it resonates with me. So it's a really good deck, and it's very beginner friendly. Every card has its own symbolism, and since the cards are the same on both sides, you can read reverse without knowing that you're pulling a reverse card, which is important because when I tried to pull reverse, I would see that the card was going to turn out reverse and then not pull it. The next deck I'm going to talk about is the Oceanic Tarot. This deck, for some reason, is my most popular one when it comes to my paid readings. I think it's because it has mermaid imagery on it, which is very appealing to a lot of people. The only problem with this deck is it's one of those decks where instead of having symbolism on it, it just says 4 of swords and then it has 4 swords. And that makes it very not beginner friendly because you can't intuitively guess the message from the cards because there's no symbolism on it. It's just a number, and unless you're really fluent in numerology, you're gonna have a hard time reading intuitively from these things. So like, see the six of pentacles is just 6 pentacles instead of being, you know, a person handing out money to someone. So not a beginner friendly deck. I would not recommend it for beginners, but if you're more practiced in tarot and you want to have a mermaid kind of deck, this would be a good deck for that. The mermaids are really pretty. Like, here's the Knight of Wands. He's a very pretty mermaid. And here's the Queen of Wands. See, very pretty mermaid imagery. What I really like about this deck, though, are the major arcana cards. So, like, this is the Fool. And it's a mermaid just diving headfirst in the sea with his little dolphin companion. I really like that. And here's the Hanged Man card. Mermaid kind of trapped in some seaweed, hanging upside down. So this Death card is absolutely amazing. I love it because it's got the wrecked ship and it's got sharks surrounding it. But if you look right here, we've got beautiful corals and seaweed growing, showing that even though we have to leave this ship behind, we're moving on to better things, which is what the Death card is all about. It's about transformation and rebirth. So I really, really like that when it comes to the Death card. And here's the Tower card. It's a ship on fire. This is terrifying. It's a really good, scary Tower card, and I really like that. I really like this deck, but because it does not repeat the pattern, you can see when you pull a reversal, which may be deterring to people who want to read reversals but don't really want to see it. So yeah, but this is a good deck. A lot of people are drawn to it, I think, because of the mermaid imagery, and it's a very soft deck. It's not very rude or very harsh. It's very gentle. So the next deck I want to quickly talk about is the Kawaii Tarot. I got this deck from my mother for Easter. A lot of people also ask for this deck in my paid readings, and this is what the back looks like. Very cute. It's very aesthetic. It's more of an aesthetic deck than it is a practical deck, for me anyways. But a lot of people do ask for it, so I do use it. It's very cute, and you can read reversals with it, so that's a plus. This is also the same case with the Oceanic Tarot, is that, as you can see, it just says Ace of Swords, and then it has 1 sword rather than imagery. It's a very minimalistic deck, which is the point. It's called Kawaii, which means small and cute. So, but the cards are very adorable. Here's the Strength card. And one thing I like about it too is it's a small deck. Like, compared to the Oceanic Tarot, it's a very small deck, so that makes it very easy to shuffle. So like, here's the 10 of Wands. The Wands are lollipops, which is very adorable. Here's the Devil. This is the cutest devil I've ever seen in my life. The Emperor is a ram, which I really like. This is like the only Emperor I've ever liked in my life. The suit cards do have a little bit of symbolism. Like, there's the 6 of Pentacles, which the hand represents giving and the heart represents love and caring for other people, you know, financially, which is good. But then you have cards like the Moon, and it's just a moon, so it's really hard to read intuitively from these cards if you don't already have the meanings of the deck memorized. So here's the Three of Swords. This one's a good one. I do like this High Priestess card. It's very pretty. Definitely not beginner friendly, I would say, because of the fact that it's more beginner friendly than the Oceanic Tarot, but it's just not, you just can't read intuitively from it. So I would not recommend it for beginners. But if you do like cute things and you do want to try to read it, I mean, go ahead. It's not up to me what you think you can and can't do. You know what I mean? The next deck I want to talk about is the Celestial Tarot. This is the first ever tarot deck I ever purchased, and I got it because it was astrology based, and I was really into astrology at the time. And I'm not really that connected with it, to be honest with you. The imagery is very complex, and I really just don't feel like I can understand it, and I feel like the imagery doesn't really relate to the original Rider-Waite tarot. It's more based off of astrology, which is fine, but for me personally, I have a hard time reading it. So this is kind of what the imagery looks like on these cards. It's very complex, very cluttered in my opinion, almost a little too much going on, and that just makes it hard for me to read. But maybe that's because I just don't know enough about constellations. It's not just about the zodiac, it's also about constellations and planets and houses. So, but it is a very gorgeous deck, and I do have a nostalgia for it because it is the first deck that I ever got. And then it has the like astrological cards, like this is the devil, so it's Capricorn's card. Since other people do feel a connection with it, I do read it for them. Okay, moving on to our fifth tarot deck. It is the Weird Cat Tarot. So my boyfriend bought this tarot deck for me for Christmas, and I'm very happy. I love it a lot. It was super sweet of him to buy me a tarot deck. Let us talk about this deck because it's super duper cute. So this is what the backs look like, and it has shiny pink edges. Oh, bird, please. It has shiny pink edges. Oh my goodness. It is so freaking adorable. And the imagery on this is so cute. So this is the Ten of Pentacles. Look at pentacles in this deck are strawberries. Hello. It has a very gentle energy with it. This is the Sun. It has a very gentle, very playful, very silly energy, and I really like that. Here's the Queen of Cups. Here's Temperance. I really love Temperance. I just think the cat's so pretty. Here's the Ace of Pentacles, Mr. Strawberry Head. And I love this Seven of Swords card. It's a freaking dog. The Seven of Swords is about deception, and there's this dog dressed up as a cat. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. So I really like this deck, and I really want to use it more, but nobody's requested it for a personal reading yet, which I'm kind of bitter about, but it's okay. Its time will come. So the last tarot deck that I have for you is the one that I have most recently bought, and that is the Legend of Zelda Tarot. Now, this was made by a creator on Etsy. She hand painted all of these cards, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I'm a huge fan of Zelda, and this is what the backs look like. They look just like the box. There's Zant from Skyward Sword, and each suit is based off of a different game. So like the wands are Twilight Princess, which I freaking love so much. Oh my gosh, look at this Five of Bottles card, Ganon. Oh god, like if you've played Legend of Zelda and you like Legend of Zelda, the symbolism for these cards really does match. Like look, there's Dark Link and Dark Zelda for the devil. I love that. So these cards really stick with the traditional Rider-Waite meanings. There's the Two of Bottles. And the pentacles are rupees. So that's the currency in Zelda games is rupees. So that's why they say pentacles. Here's the Star, which is a Zora. The Three of Swords. The Moon, which is the Moon from Majora's Mask. I could honestly go on all day about how beautiful this deck is, but I've got a couple others to get to. So here's the Emperor. So yeah, just know that I really, really love that deck. That deck is so amazing, and I did it for a couple of my Twitter tarot readings also, and people really like it, which is really cool. The next deck I want to talk about is this Crystal Stone deck. So this is rather new, and what this deck is it's a deck with crystals on one side and the meanings of the crystals on the other side. So we have here rose quartz. And so you see the rose quartz, and then on the back it has information about the rose quartz. So here's tiger's eye. And then on the back it has information about tiger's eye. So what this deck is useful for, here's amber, is at the beginning of the month, if I were to kind of be like, okay, what crystal, because I'm a really big crystal fan. So if I were to be like, oh, okay, what crystal energy do I want to work with this month, I would shuffle this deck, you know, bada bing, bada boom, and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to work with Tektite this month and kind of learn about Tektite, maybe acquire a piece and use it in my workings. The next deck that I have is The Universe Has Your Back, and it's kind of an affirmation deck. So I use it to kind of to clarify feelings for people, or give them a good affirmation message. There is a beautiful piece and a quote on it. So this one says, energy flows where my intention goes. So if I were reading for someone, I would shuffle these, and maybe I drew this one, which says, my outer experiences are a reflection of my internal condition, and kind of use this as a clarifier for the reading, or kind of give them, this is the message you need right now. And they're really beautiful, very watercolor style pictures, and I really enjoy them. So yeah, that's that deck, and I just use it as a clarity deck, or whenever I'm feeling kind of lost and need some direction, need some advice. Okay, the final deck I want to talk about is my Oracle deck, the Work Your Light Oracle. I've never had an Oracle deck before, but this Oracle deck is so freaking gorgeous that I couldn't pass it up. And this is what the backs look like. Like this, you've probably seen this deck before. It's literally everywhere. This deck is so gorgeous. And the imagery on this deck is to die for. It's so beautiful. So what I do is I use these Oracle cards also as a clarifier. So if I have a reading, I will also draw an Oracle card, and depending on the Oracle card that I draw, it will help me give advice to the person for what they need to do in their life, or clarity on the reading itself, or how the person may be feeling. It just depends on the reading and what kind of tone it has. See, there's even like yes and no answers, which are very helpful in readings. So we really love this deck, and it's really gorgeous. But like I said, you've probably seen it before because it's very popular. But yeah. Okay, friends, that's literally all the decks I have for you. It didn't seem like a lot when I was recording, but now that I'm looking at all these cards spread out everywhere, I'm realizing that it's a lot. But I do hope that you enjoyed. If there's any deck you want me to go into more depth in, like kind of show you every card or kind of tell you my experiences with each deck, I can 100% do that. Just let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I love sharing these witchy type videos with you all. So I will see you in the next video. Bye!